Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel of Mr. Footballer Loons, and today I'm doing Game Week 20 predictions of the Premier League, and I'm going to be starting off on the 30th of December. It is Luton Town at Kenworth Road facing Chelsea. Going to Kenworth Road is not going to be easy. Luton Town won against Newcastle United, then won against Sheffield United 3-2. Fantastic. Luton Town are a fighting team. They work 110% every game. It's not going to be easy. Chelsea are very inconsistent. They did pick up a 2-1 win against Crystal Palace, but before that they lost it 2-1 against Wolves. Now, overall, I think Luton Town can pick up a point here. Chelsea being inconsistent, Luton Town being good from home, I think it evens out to a 1-1 draw. Moving on to the next game, at Selhurst Park. It's Crystal Palace versus Brentford. Two teams which are not on fantastic form. Brentford lost 4-1 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I believe Nathan Collins made two mistakes, gifting Wolverhampton Wanderers a Christmas present. But it wasn't good enough for Brentford. Brentford aren't on fantastic form. They lost their last 4 games. Crystal Palace aren't great form. But they're home here, Crystal Palace. And I think last game, Crystal Palace played better than Brentford's last game. Brentford is suffering from injuries. Overall, home advantage. I am going to go for Crystal Palace. I'm going to go 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Moving on to the next game, it is at the Etihad Stadium. It is Manchester City versus Sheffield United. And well, Sheffield United lost it 3-2 against Luton Town. I mean, to be honest, Sheffield United, they probably deserved a draw on stats and what I saw of the game. But they lost it anyway. They're the bottom of the league. They did get a point against Aston Villa, which is very good, especially at Villa Park to end Villa's streak, which is fantastic. Chris Wilder is obviously a noticeable difference. Sheffield United are playing better, results are tighter. Going into this game, I don't think it's going to be like a 3-4-0 thrashing. I'm going to go comfortable for Manchester City, as it is Manchester City. They did get a good 3-1 win against Everton, so I am going to go for a 2-0 Manchester City win. Moving on to the next game, is at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa versus Burnley, and well, Aston Villa in the last few days have dropped a bit of points. Only a draw against Sheffield United, bottling a win against Manchester United, and they're facing Burnley. It should be a win. There's no way Aston Villa can go a third game without a win, considering they probably want at least top 4. So going into this game against Burnley, which haven't been playing fantastic in terms of a whole season, I am going to go for an Aston Villa win. I will back up Burnley to get a goal, and I'm going to go 3-1 to Aston Villa. Moving on to the next game, it is at the Molineux Stadium. It is Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Everton, and well, this is a close game. Very close game, can barely split the sides. Now probably the favourites in this game would probably be Wolves because they're home. But other than that, I think they're so equal. So I am going to go for a draw in this game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 exciting draw. Moving on to the next game, is at the City Ground. It's Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United. And will Manchester United finally get themselves a win, winning it 3-2 against Aston Villa, which is a very good win. And especially that they came from 2-0 down to make it 3-2, on top of Rasmus Højlund getting his first ever goal in the Premier League for Manchester United. He'd done it in the Champions League. Now he's got a goal. Is he going to have a bit more confidence? Much better game for Manchester United, although the first half wasn't fantastic. But it was better for Manchester United. Facing Nottingham Forest, you know what? Nottingham Forest got a win against Newcastle United. Nunes, their new manager, I think Nottingham Forest can get a point. I think they played well against Newcastle United. Well structured. Good manager. And I think this game is not going to be a win for Nottingham Forest. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw come the final whistle. Moving on to the next games at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham versus Arsenal. The last time these two teams met, I believe it was a 2-2 draw. And Fulham had 10 men. They managed to get a draw against Arsenal, which was a very good point back then. But in recent time, Fulham, 5-0 win, 5-0 win. Then they lose to Newcastle United 3-0. Then they lose to Burnley 2-0. Then they go get thrashed by Bournemouth 3-0. The last 3 games, they haven't been able to score. It could be because of the suspension of Raul Jimenez and the injury of Willian. That probably is part of the reason. But Raul Jimenez does return, so I think they will get a goal. This will be close because Arsenal keep their results quite tight. But Fulham, even at home, aren't going to beat Arsenal considering the last 3 games. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to the wayside Arsenal. Moving on to the next games at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is Tottenham Hotspur versus AFC Bournemouth. And well, Solanke is scoring and scoring. Got a hat-trick in game week 18. Got a penalty goal in the last game. It's fantastic for AFC Bournemouth. Coming into this game, it's going to be a close game. Tottenham starting to pick up the form they had at the start of the season. 3 wins in a row. Bournemouth, the best form in the Premier League. It's looking fantastic for both clubs. But Tottenham are at home. They're probably the favourites. I am going to edge Tottenham, but it's going to be a high-scoring, exciting game. Solanke's going to score yet again. It's going to be high-scoring, and I'm going to go for a 3-2 result towards the home side, Tottenham Hotspur. Moving on to the next game, it is a whole new day, it's a whole new year, it's the 1st of January, it's at Anfield, it's Liverpool versus Newcastle United, and well, Newcastle United's record against Liverpool is absolutely terrible. I believe Newcastle haven't actually won against Liverpool at Anfield for 8 years, which is not a good record, so I don't see Newcastle United winning this, even though they are my favourite team. Newcastle never do well against Liverpool, Liverpool at home, Newcastle aren't fantastic form, Liverpool are first. And I feel like Liverpool are going to win this. I'm going to go 1-0, just about, to Liverpool. Moving on to the next game. It's a whole new day yet again. It's the 2nd of January. It is at the mighty London Stadium. It is West Ham United versus Brighton and Hove Albion. And well, West Ham United, in the last game, they won it 2-0 against Manchester United. Obviously, they have yet to play against Arsenal, so I don't know that scoreline yet. But they won 2-0 against Manchester United. What a good win. They're in 7th. They're on very good form. Kudus, Paqueta, absolutely sensational. West Ham United, fantastic. Brighton, on the other hand, they've dipped in form. They have definitely dipped in form. They're 2 places below West Ham now. And coming into this game, it's going to be a close game, obviously. I don't know what the result has been against Spurs. But overall, coming into this game, they drew 1-1 against Crystal Palace. Brighton, I feel like they're a bit inconsistent. They haven't been on fantastic form. So I am going to go towards West Ham United, and I'm going to say West Ham United will win this 2-1 come the final whistle against Brighton and Hove Albion. Right, let's see how I did in Game Week 18, and before we do, I'm going to say my goal of Game Week 18 has to be Ogbert for Burnley, if that's how you pronounce it. Ogbert, what a great goal from outside the box for Burnley. A great goal to get a victory over the line against Fulham. That's my goal of Game Week 18. But how did I do in Game Week 18? Well, I got 4 points out of the possible 18 points in Game Week 18. And while I got 2 exact results correct, I got the Tottenham Everton one exactly correct, and the Crystal Palace Brighton and Hove Albion exactly correct. That is pretty good, but overall only 4 points is pretty poor. And overall that puts me on 106 points out of 356 points. I would like a better week going into Game Week 20, and I'm yet to get all the results back for Game Week 19. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Hopefully you can like and subscribe, and always remember to turn on those notifications to don't miss one of my fantastic YouTube videos. I'll see you next time. Toodle pip now.